They believed they could strike you and simply walk away without a scratch, but the universe has already stamped their names on a list titled, "You're done." That is the cold, hard truth they are currently trying to outrun. They pulled something dirty, something incredibly bold, something they genuinely thought would crush your spirit. But here is the thing. The universe does not play around when it comes to balance, and it definitely does not play around when it comes to you. When they moved against you, they unknowingly signed a contract they never bothered to read. It's a contract where the very last line essentially says, "Chosen one, your enemies are as good as finished because of the moves they tried to make." Think of it like this. Imagine someone shaking a soda bottle over and over again, thinking the pressure won't eventually blow back on them. That isn't smart, it's completely reckless. That is exactly what your enemies did to you. They kept shaking your life, poking at you, mocking you, and trying to break your will, acting as if there would never be a price to pay. But pressure follows a very specific rule. Once it hits the limit, it doesn't ask for permission to release. It just explodes right in the person's hands. Right now, that blast is aimed directly at the ones who tried to play games with your journey. The law of universal balance, the fact that screams you were right. This whole time is that the universe never loses track of anything. People often think they are getting away with their actions because nothing happens in the immediate moment. But that's not how it works. The universe just likes to watch people dig their own holes first. Your enemies dug deep. They kept going and pushing, and now that hole is so deep they can't possibly climb out. They aren't just about to face consequences. They are already standing in them. The universe has already moved the pieces behind the scenes, and the chain reaction built specifically for them is already rolling downhill. I want to thank you, Chosen One, for being here with me. Don't forget to pay this message forward by simply pressing like and subscribe so it can reach more souls who need it. It is on all of us to spread this light and keep this wisdom moving. Thank you for being a vital part of this mission. You aren't just a listener, you are part of a massive force. Now, let's slide right back into what is really happening in your life right now. You see, this isn't some random downfall happening to random people. This is the direct result of the specific things they pulled on you. Every move was documented. When they tried to twist your path, the universe took it personally. When they tried to block your growth, the universe started stacking the evidence against them. When they tried to embarrass you, the universe wrote their sentence. Every single move they made was documented. Every fake smile, every shady joke, and every plan they whispered behind your back was seen. They thought they were being clever and that you were totally clueless. They didn't realize the universe was watching the whole time, essentially saying, "Keep going, just keep going, you're only setting yourselves up." Chosen One, everything you suspected was 100% real. The weird energy, the sudden shifts in the room, and the tension that didn't make any sense. You weren't being dramatic. You weren't imagining things. You were actually picking up on signals months before their downfall even began. Your intuition was way ahead of their consequences. That is exactly why they looked so nervous whenever they were around you. Their spirit always knew something was coming, even if they tried to act brave and tough in front of your face. They feared your rise. They tried to ruin your reputation and twist your story. They wanted to make people question your character because watching you stay strong made them feel incredibly small. They were obsessed with seeing you fall because they couldn't handle the reality of watching you rise. But the universe doesn't reward that kind of behavior. When someone tries to destroy a chosen one, all they end up doing is destroying their own future path. It has always been that way, and now they are finally seeing the reality of it. Picture this. You are standing on a bridge after a massive storm that you didn't even cause. Everything is wet, messy, and broken. Trees are down and signs are bent, but you are still standing there. You are breathing, you are stable, and you are actually growing. Meanwhile, the people who started that storm are slipping, falling, and crashing into the very chaos they created. They don't know how to navigate it because they were only built for attacking, not for surviving the consequences of their own actions. Your silence was strategy. They underestimated you in a way that actually looks embarrassing now. They thought you were slow to catch on, or that you were blind to their games. They even thought your kind heart made you weak. What they didn't know was that your heart was actually a shield. They didn't know your silence was a calculated strategy, and they didn't know your patience was your greatest power. They definitely didn't realize that the universe backs anyone who moves with truth, respect, and real strength. They chose the absolute wrong person to target. They messed with someone the universe actually favors, and that is why everything is collapsing on them so incredibly fast. They are losing things left and right. People are pulling away from them, their plans are failing, and their money is slipping through their fingers. Connections are dying off, and doors that used to open easily for them are now stuck shut. They don't know how to fix it because the problem isn't something out there. The problem was their decision to come for you in the first place. The price tag they can't afford you were the line they were never supposed to cross, yet they crossed it with a confidence they hadn't earned. Now they are paying for it with a price tag they simply cannot afford. Chosen one, let this be your confirmation. The universe didn't let them slide. It didn't overlook what they did to you or ignore the pain you felt. It didn't forget the times you stayed silent or missed the tears you shed. It wasn't blind to your loyalty. It saw everything, and now the universe is returning everything to a state of balance. Their downfall isn't a random occurrence. It has been earned. Their fear isn't random. It has been earned. Their misfortune isn't random. It has been earned through their own actions. You survived what was meant to destroy you, but they won't survive what they created for themselves. This is only the beginning of the shift, and seriously, thank you for being here. You are part of a rare group that understands what is happening behind the scenes. The universe keeps pulling you back to these messages for a very specific reason. The call to awaken now, take a deep breath, lock in, and get ready to go even deeper. What comes next might hit harder than anything you've heard so far. This whole situation with your enemies isn't a small matter. Once you hear the next part, you'll see why the universe has already marked them as finished. If you're ready for the truth, drop a 777 in the comments so the world knows another chosen one is awake. If you want to push this mission forward, you can bless the team with a super thanks. Your support keeps these messages alive, and whether it's a little or a lot, it fuels this movement. Let's move into this step by step. If you are truly the chosen one, you'll feel the pull to stay until the very end. Let's get into the first major point. Number 1, they didn't just target you as an individual. They picked a fight with your entire bloodline. They thought they were hurting just one person, but the universe logged their actions as an attack on an entire legacy. The people who came for you didn't just cross a line. They stomped over a boundary they had no business touching, and the universe did not take that lightly. You are a product of generations. The universe looks at you as the result of generations who fought, survived, built, struggled, and refused to quit. So when someone decides to strike at you, the universe doesn't see it as a minor misunderstanding. It sees it as a hit job against every ancestor and every effort that came before you. They didn't just disrespect you, they disrespected the entire path that made your existence possible. Imagine someone throwing a rock at a single tree thinking it's funny, not realizing that tree stands in a massive, ancient forest. Every tree in that forest has roots connected deep underground. The moment that rock hits, the whole forest feels the vibration. That is exactly what happened when they tried to break you. They had no idea the roots behind you were stronger, older, and way more powerful than their weak intentions. They thought they were messing with a single leaf, not realizing the leaf was connected to a whole ecosystem ready to snap back with force. The universe always defends balance, and when people take things too far, the universe corrects the situation. Was it really that deep? What they did to you triggered a correction that is now headed straight for them. They didn't know that coming for you was the same as stepping into a trap that generations before you already set. They thought they were being bold, but they were actually being foolish. At this point, you might be asking yourself, did they really hate me that much? Was it really that deep? The answer is yes, it was. And that is the part that often hurts the most. Many of the people who tried to damage you played friendly. They smiled in your face while sharpening the knife behind their back. They pretended to support you while they were quietly feeding energy into your downfall. You are not wrong for feeling confused about them or for thinking everything felt off. The energy was off because their intentions were rotten. They wanted you isolated, doubting yourself, and losing opportunities. They wanted to see you struggling while they watched from the sidelines. Some didn't just want your setbacks. They wanted your total exit from the scene. Obsession and envy, that isn't paranoia. That is the truth people never want to admit. When someone carries envy long enough, it turns into an obsession. When that obsession gets too heavy, they start doing things that cross lines they can't uncross. They used your kindness as a weakness and your silence as an opening. They used your loyalty as a blindfold, counting on you not noticing how their energy had shifted. They counted on you being too caring to see the attack forming, hoping you would doubt yourself long enough for them to get the upper hand. They thought you were naive, soft, and alone. But here is the twist. You were never alone. The universe had your path mapped out long before any of these people even knew your name. Every test, every setback, and every painful moment you went through wasn't a sign of weakness. It was training. You were being shaped into someone they would never be able to break. Your enemies didn't understand that. They thought your struggle meant they were winning, not realizing the universe puts chosen people through pressure to reveal them, not destroy them. Why did they target you? You were built to handle storms that would swallow them whole. Deep down, that is why they feared you. They saw a strength in you that you didn't even see in yourself yet. Let's answer the question, why did they come after you so hard when you didn't even do anything to them? It's because your existence alone triggered them. Your growth annoyed them, your resilience confused them, and your potential threatened them before you even understood what it was. People with weak character always feel attacked by people with strong energy. Instead of working on themselves, they try to break the person who exposes their flaws simply by existing. You walking into a room made them feel insecure. You leveling up made them feel jealous. You healing made them uncomfortable, and you staying calm made them absolutely furious. They didn't understand how you kept rising after every hit they delivered. They didn't understand why people naturally gravitated toward you or how you kept showing compassion even when you were hurting. When people don't understand something, they fear it. The boomerang effect: when people fear something, they try to destroy it. But the universe has a rule they completely forgot. Whatever you send out must come back. They sent harm, jealousy, and attacks, and now it is coming back to them like a boomerang they didn't see until it was inches from their face. They were laughing at you then, but the universe isn't laughing with them now. Picture a person trying to flip over a massive boulder with their bare hands just to block your path. They push and sweat, using all their energy to stop you. But the universe has gravity on your side. When they finally lose their grip, that same boulder rolls back onto them, not because you pushed it, but because they set themselves up for failure. They created the danger and chose the angle. The universe just handled the physics. That is what is happening now. They are getting crushed by the weight of everything they tried to throw at you. You aren't watching their downfall happen out of spite. You are watching their own actions return to them with interest. You were meant to witness this chosen one. You weren't supposed to break. You were supposed to witness this moment. You were meant to see how the universe defends those who walk with truth and real strength. You were supposed to see the difference between people who actually love you and those who just want to use you. You were meant to rise so high that their attempts to destroy you look ridiculous in hindsight. Your journey isn't ordinary, and neither is your protection. The universe has carried your lineage through challenges much harsher than this. When someone tries to come for you now, the universe doesn't just defend you, it corrects everything around you. That is why people are losing access to you. That is why doors are closing for them, and why nothing they try is landing the way it used to. You didn't have to curse them or retaliate. The universe handled it for you. And the wildest part, you aren't even done rising yet. This is just the fallout stage. They are panicking because they see something in you that you haven't fully stepped into yet. You are protected and aligned. You are dangerous in the best way possible because you are aligned, protected, and evolving. They came for the version of you that was still learning, but they weren't ready for the version of you that finally woke up. Their downfall isn't your focus anymore. Your own evolution is. But the universe made sure their consequences were loud enough for you to hear. Just so you know, you were never crazy. You were targeted, you survived, and now they are facing the exact storm they built. You didn't just win, you outlived their attack. Number 2, they targeted you from day one because your light exposed their dark sides. They didn't hate you because of who you were. They hated you because of what you revealed about them. Let's be real. The weird things you went through as a kid were never random. The cold stares, the passive-aggressive comments, and the adults who were supposed to protect you but looked at you like you were a threat. All of that was part of a pattern. You ever wonder why you felt out of place in rooms where you should have felt safe? The flashlight in the attic. You ever wonder why people treated you like you were too much, before you were even old enough to understand what that meant? The truth is simple. Your light exposed their shadows. Imagine a flashlight turning on in a dusty old attic. Nothing changed except that the light revealed what was already there. That was you. Everywhere you walked, people felt like their hidden flaws were suddenly visible. You didn't try to expose anyone. Your presence alone made their lies uncomfortable and their insecurities loud. Imagine standing next to a mirror you never asked for. That was you as a child. You made people see themselves clearly, and they didn't like what they saw. Instead of fixing themselves, they tried to break the mirror. They wanted to dim your light, not because you were doing anything wrong, but because your brightness forced them to see their own darkness. Your childhood wasn't shaped by random cruelty. It was shaped by people who sensed something powerful inside you long before you even knew it was there. They tried to silence the future. They saw your potential and your strength before you had the vocabulary to describe it. Instead of protecting you, they treated you like a threat that needed to be controlled or silenced. You might wonder how grown adults could be jealous of a child, but it's because your energy wasn't child-sized. It carried weight and truth that they couldn't manipulate. Kids with that kind of presence are always targeted because they carry something strong, and insecure people can smell that strength from a mile away. Think about it. You were always questioned more than other kids. You were held to standards no one else had to meet and punished harder for things others got away with easily. That wasn't just bad parenting, that was targeting. They wanted to break your confidence early before you could learn how powerful your self-belief truly was. They didn't want to raise you, they wanted to erase the parts of you they couldn't control. They wanted you small, doubtful, and manageable. Organized chaos. Some of them didn't just attack you emotionally, they took physical steps. They tampered with your belongings, hid items, or poisoned your self-image with words that stuck to your mind like glue. None of this was your imagination or childhood confusion. It was organized chaos aimed specifically at you. Why? Because even as a kid, your presence messed with their plans. You made their fake confidence crack and their lies tremble. You brought clarity wherever you stood, and clarity is something insecure people run from. They didn't see a child. They saw a future force. They saw someone the universe clearly favored, someone who would grow into a version they couldn't manipulate or outperform. So they tried to start their work early. They planted doubt and blocked opportunities before you ever had the chance to try. They whispered negativity because they knew your energy worked even when you weren't awake. They feared the adult you would eventually become, so they tried to crush the child you were. The seed that broke through. Imagine you are a seed buried in dirt. Not regular dirt, but dirt packed down by people who didn't want you to grow. They stomped on the soil and tried to deprive you of everything you needed, but the universe had different plans. Even seeds under heavy soil still sprout. When they do, They break through everything that tried to keep them buried. That is you. You broke through. You were supposed to be controlled, but you became aware. You were supposed to be weak, but you became strong. What really eats your enemies alive is that none of their work actually worked. All the traps failed, and all the doubt they planted backfired. You grew stronger from every bit of negativity they threw your way. You outlived their sabotage and outsmarted their tricks, often without even knowing the full story. Imagine a video game where the enemies keep raising the difficulty, but every time they do, you unlock a new ability. Every failed attempt by them made them more desperate and made you more powerful. You became your own protector. You might ask why no one stepped in to protect you. It's because most people were either scared of your light or benefiting from your silence. You didn't have protectors. You had to become your own. You built your strength the hard way, and that strength is exactly why the universe backs you now. Your heart stayed pure even when everyone else went dark. Imagine someone trying to block the sun with their bare hands. They stand there sweating and irritated, thinking they are winning because they created a little shade. But the sun doesn't lose power just because someone doesn't want to see it. The sun keeps rising and shining. It doesn't dim itself for insecure people. That is you. You kept shining even when they tried to cover you up. Their entire mission was to break you, but your entire destiny was built to survive them. Everything they threw at you since childhood was meant to stop the future version of you, the version you are stepping into right now. By trying to break you, they accidentally trained you. Trained for greatness, they sharpened you and made you tougher than they ever expected. They made you emotionally intelligent, aware, and wise. All the things they tried to take from you became the things that now protect you. The universe watched every single thing they did. The universe doesn't miss what people think it missed. It remembered every attack, every trap, and every manipulation. That is why they are marked as finished. They targeted a child who was never meant to be defeated, and the universe doesn't let that slide. Your childhood didn't break you. It built you into someone untouchable. It made you someone they simply cannot handle today. That is why they are terrified. They know the kid they tried to crush is now the adult who sees everything with perfect clarity. They know the child they attacked became the chosen one who survived it all. Survival is the one thing they never expected from you. They aimed for your roots, but you became the entire tree, and now the universe is handling them for it. Their weapons backfired. Number 3. Every hit they threw turned into a weapon against them. They didn't fail because they were weak. They failed because the universe refused to let filthy hands touch a protected destiny. They still can't explain how you survived everything they launched at you. They are pacing in rooms you'll never see, asking people for answers and replaying every step like detectives trying to solve a crime. But the answer keeps slipping away. You're still here because nothing they sent ever actually reached its target. The universe simply didn't allow it. Imagine someone throwing a dart at you, but the moment it leaves their hand, the air bends and sends it straight back at them. That is exactly what happened. Every curse twisted in mid-flight, and every attempt to drag your name into darkness only dragged them deeper into the pit they dug. You weren't in danger. They were playing chicken with the universe, and they lost. They ran to spiritual workers hoping for shortcuts, but energy doesn't obey desperation or move for people who are dirty. Restoring the balance. Number 4. Payback landed on them with laser accuracy. The consequences they are hitting right now aren't random bad luck. The universe is delivering payback with the precision of a sniper. Everything they pushed toward you is now tearing through their own lives. They wished chaos on your peace. Now their own lives are unraveling. They wished loss on your pockets. Now their money is evaporating. They are choking on the same toxins they brewed for you. You can't medicate karma, and you can't put a bandage on what you started with jealousy. They didn't just get sick, they got sentenced. Their minds are unraveling, and sleep refuses to come to them. Their jobs are slipping away, and their relationships are cracking because no one wants to stand next to someone being hit with universal consequences. This isn't punishment, it's physics. The energy they launched had your name on it, But your protection was too strong, so the universe stamped it return to sender. They are being locked in a room with everything they tried to hide from the world. Step into your power finally, chosen one. Understand that they tried to shut down your rise, but the universe activated you anyway. They were terrified of who you were about to become. They tried to block a destiny that was never in their hands. The universe built you with upgrades they could never decode. Intuition, strength, and clarity that came from your very lineage. Your DNA is preloaded with information they could sense but couldn't name. You were dormant for years, not weak, and the second you started waking up, they panicked. But here is the best part. You woke up anyway. You rose anyway. Their attack wasn't your failure. It was the confirmation that your evolution threatened their entire world. The universe didn't just let you survive. It pushed you into the very power they feared most. Everything they stole is coming back with interest they can't afford. Your season of blockage is over, and your protection is now an impenetrable armor. You are stepping into the version of yourself they feared most, and there is nothing they can do to stop it.